What's up, everybody? Azariel here, and welcome to a Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 Archetype review. One that I have not done in quite some time. Series of video, I mean. Have not done an Archetype review. As a matter of fact, I can't remember what was the last Archetype I did a video on. But nevertheless, as always, anytime I do an Archetype review, I always try to do a review on an archetype that really interests me, that has something unique about them. And I think this archetype has a few things. One being that this is a new type of monster that was introduced into Yu-Gi-Oh! And secondly, they have uh, a unique motif in the archetype and how you're supposed to play them. And after messing around with them, that didn't even come out right. After playing the archetype a little bit, um, I had, just discovered some things, and there's some new cards coming out for the archetype in this new booster pack. So, coming up, the new challengers on July 19th. So I think this would be a good time to do an archetype review of the archetype. So what we're looking at here is the Yang Zing. Now the Yang Zing is an archetype of a new type of monster called the Worms, and again, like they're new to the uh, the card game, and they have some pretty unique features about them. Is that they can maintain field presence by when they either get destroyed by battle or by card effect, they special summon another Yang Zing monster from the deck, and they have some other effects that protect or activate when they synchro summon. And this can include either raising the attack and defense or uh, making the synchro monster that they synchro summon um, unaffected by spells or traps, and a variety of other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the rundown of all of the monsters and all of the non-monster support cards in the archetype, and we're going to see how these or how this archetype is meant to be played. Because I actually have some unique, well, not that's the wrong word. I actually have some things I need to say about the archetype in the way that they're, or like the way that I believe that they're supposed to be played. So with that being said, let's start off with the first monster, Chi Cosmic Dragon of Light. As you can see, it's a light worm tuner effect monster, level 1, attack defense 0. Hold on, the website kind of frozen up a little bit. Alright, here we go. Alright, and it said when this card you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck, except Chi Cosmic Dragon of Light. When a Yang Zing monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. If special summoned this way, banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use one Chi Cosmic Dragon of Light per turn, and only once that turn. Alright, so next up, we have Pulau. Pulau, Cosmic Dragon of Wind. Cosmic Dragon of Wind. And actually, I think these names are going to get changed from Chi Wind and the other monsters that haven't had their names changed yet. Yeah, like the names of the monsters are going to get changed to Yang Zing. So, yeah. But Pulau, Cosmic Dragon of Wind. It's a worm wind effect monster, level 1 attack 0, defense 1800. Description: when this card you control is destroyed either by battle or by card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face up attack position, except Pulau, Cosmic Dragon of Wind. You can only use this effect of Pulau once per turn during your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase. You can immediately, after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using Yang Zing monsters you control. This is a quick effect. Um, synchro monster summoned by using this card as a synchro material monster is unaffected by the effects of spell cards. Nice. Alright, so next up. One second, I gotta shorten this. There we go. Add to lower the recording box, because it was in the way of my links. So next up we have Bixie, Cosmic Dragon of Water. Again, all of the Cosmic Dragons are going to get renamed to Yang Zing. And I don't know what the card names are going to be for those at that time, but these are Yang Zing monsters. Like the Cosmic Dragons, they're the Yang Zing. So I don't want you to get confused. But yeah, Water, Worm Effect Monster, level 2, attack 0, defense 2000. Description: when this card you control is destroyed either by battle or by card effect. And you know what? From this point on, like, I'm not even going to read this first effect because all of them have that same, saying, like, all of the regular monsters in the main deck, like, they have like that same effect. So I'm not going to even bother reading that from this point on. But yeah, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face-up attack position, except Bixie, Cosmic Dragon of Water. You can only use this effect of Bixie once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using Yang Zing monsters you control. This is a quick effect, and synchro monster summoned by using this card as a synchro material monster is unaffected by the effects of trap cards. Okay, so we got spells and traps covered between the two of them. Next up, we have YuGiOh, or Giatu. And it says you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face-up attack position, except Jiaotu. If you control no other monsters, you can send 2 Yang Zing cards from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon one Yang Zing monster with 0 attack and one Yang Zing monster with 0 defense from your deck, but banish them during the end phase. You can only use one Jiaotu Darkness or the Yang Zing effect per turn, and only once that turn. Okay, so you got a tuner that can do some searching right there. Not bad at all. Okay, next up we have Bian. This is so beyond anything that I ever expected. Bian, or Bian, Cosmic Dragon of Earth. It's an Earthworm effect monster, level 3, attack 1600, defense 0. And description: you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face-up defense position, except Bian. You can only use this effect of Bian once per turn during your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase. You can immediately, after this card effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using Yang Zing monsters you control only. This is a quick effect. A synchro monster summoned using this card as a synchro material monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Alright, so moving up, we have Suani, and it is Cosmic Dragon of Fire, and it is a fire worm effect monster, level 4, attack 1900, defense 0. Description: you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face-up defense position, except Suani, Cosmic Dragon of Fire. You can only use the effect of Suani, Cosmic Dragon of Fire once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase. You can immediately, after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using Yang Zing monsters you control only. This is a quick effect. A synchro monster summoned by using this card as a synchro material gains 500 attack and defense. Nice. And I think this is the last of the main deck monsters, yeah, that have been confirmed so far. Next up we have Tao Tai, Evil of the Yang Zing, and it's a dark worm effect monster, level 5, attack 2200, defense 0. When this card you control is destroyed either by battle or by card. I just said I wasn't going to read that again. Yeah, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck in face-up defense position, except Tao Tai, Evil of the Yang Zing. You can only use this effect of Tao Tai, Evil of the Yang Zing once per turn. During your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can immediately after this card effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using the Yang Zing monsters you control only. This is a quick effect. You can control of a face-up synchro monster summoned by using this card as a synchro material monster cannot switch. Okay, so it prevents monsters from being switched. So next up, we have, like we're going into the extra deck monsters now. We have Yazi, Wickedness of the Yang Zing, and it is a dark worm synchro effect monster, level 7, attack 2600, defense 2100. Description: one tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. You can only target one Yang Zing monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Destroy those cards. You can only use this effect of Yazi, Wickedness of the Yang Zing, once per turn. When this card you control is destroyed either by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one worm monster from your deck in face-up defense position. You can only use the effect of Yazi, Wickedness of the Yang Zing, once per turn. So next up we have Baxia. Let this page load up. Alright. We have Baxia, Brightness of the Yang Zing, and it's a light worm synchro effect monster, level 8, attack 2300, defense 2600. And description: one tuner monster plus one or more non-tuner worm type monsters. And when this card is synchro summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of different original attributes of the worm type monsters used as this card's synchro material. Shuffle those targets into the deck once per turn. You can target one card you control and one level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard. Destroy the first target, and if you do, special summon the second target from your graveyard. Alright, so now moving into the non-monster support cards. Oh, I didn't mean to click on this one. Excuse me, wrong one. Well, yeah, where we at? Right there. Alright. Got it right. Okay, next up we have Cosmic Dragon Zenith. And it's a continuous trap card. Description: all monsters your opponent controls must attack if able. During either player's main phase or battle phase, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Special summon. Immediately after this, sorry, somebody knocked on the door. Anyway, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using at least one Yang Zing monster as a synchro material monster. So this is like final attack orders, somewhat. And it pretty much puts you in like a Formula Synchron situation. So that's what that is. Next up we have Cosmic Dragon Leyline, and it is a continuous spell card. Description: this card gains effects based on the number of different attributes of the Yang Zing monsters in your graveyard. 2 or more Yang Zing monsters you control gain 500 attack. 3 or more. If a Yang Zing monster you control would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. 4 or more, your opponent cannot set monsters. Also, face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. 5 or more, you can send this card to the graveyard. Destroy all cards on the field. So, some good setups right there, depending on how well you use the card. And next up we have Cosmic Dragon Incarnation. And it is a continuous trap card. Description: once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except synchro monsters. Alright. And last but not least we have Cosmic Dragon Comet Trail. It's a normal spell card. Description: you can only activate one Cosmic Dragon Comet Trail per turn. Target 3 Yang Zing monsters in your graveyard. Shuffle all 3 into the deck, then draw 2 cards. So this is like the Pot of Avarice for the Archetype. So there you go. Now getting back to the main page real quick, and the one thing you notice about all of these cards is that they have the ability to, when they get destroyed by battle or by card effect, they special summon another Yang Zing monster. And the thing that you have to watch out for when it comes to the monsters in the archetype is that you have to watch out for, or like the one thing you have to pay attention to, I should say, is the monsters that special summon in attack position versus the monsters that special summon in defense position. Like, you would want to make sure that you have the proper targets for those effects already in your mind. Otherwise, you're just gonna fuck up and special summon the wrong thing. And this is a simple mistake that anybody can make, and I pretty much made this mistake, so I'm just saying it just for anybody that watches this video that just may make that same mistake. Hey, I just warned you. So now all of the Yang Zing monsters that go in the main deck, they all special summon in a certain position, with the exception of Chi-Wen. Now Chi-Wen, this is going to be, I would say, your most reliable tuner out of all of them, because Chi-Wen not only can it special summon itself from the graveyard, but it can special summon a Yang Zing monster from your deck in any position. In face-up attack position or face-up defense position, it can special summon any Yang Zing monster in any position. So that's going to be your most reliable one right there. Now, just looking at, that's not a tuner. No, it's not a tuner. Where the fuck the tuner's at? Okay, Chi-Wen, YuGiOh. Let me group these up. These bookmarks. Hold on. Pretty much just got to group all the bookmarks together. Let me do that. Should have did this before, but I didn't. Okay. I thought it was a tuner too. Alright. So they all together, like, the archetype has two tuners between YuGiOh and Chi-Wen. And I would say YuGiOh is another helpful tuner monster for the archetype, because you can special summon, two Yang Zing monsters, which can go towards, again, like a synchro summon. So depending on whatever you're trying to do, as you notice with all of the Yang Zings, of the various attributes, they have effects that get applied to the synchro monsters that they synchro summon, whether it be to negate the effects of trap cards on them, spell cards, well, not negate, but the monsters get unaffected by spells or traps and spells, as well as they can gain attack boosts, and they can't like, the monsters can't change control, etc., etc. Now, with Chi-Wen, it can special summon itself from the graveyard. With YuGiOh, when it's on the field by itself, you can send two Yang Zing cards from your hand, and you can special summon two Yang Zing monsters, one with 0 attack and the other one with 0 defense. Now, when you look at the targets for the monsters that can't be special summoned, the monsters that has 0 attack in the archetype, that's, of course, YuGiOh itself. There's Chi-Wen, which has both 0 attack and 0 defense. There's Pulao. There's Bixie. I believe that's it. Yeah, okay, so your only two targets for the time being, not until they confirm some more cards and new challengers. If they confirm some new Yang Zing monsters in the in that booster pack, your only two targets would be Pulau and Cosmic, uh, Pulau and Bixie. And again, depending on what you're going for, as far as like the synchro summons, that's what you want to. That would be the monster that you want to summon to the field. Hold on one second. All right. And then when you look at the monsters that have 0 defense, there's Bian, Bian, Suwani, and that's Tao Tai. And between the three of these, you have some pretty helpful effects. So, looking at what YuGiOh can do, you can either set yourself up for a monster that, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's pretty much like 6 different combinations that you can use here. There's 6 different combinations of monsters that you can use for YuGiOh's effect. Now, looking at the monsters that are in the extra deck. Now, this is where things get, a bit crazy, because now you have to pay attention to the levels of the monsters, as is with synchro monsters. And when you're looking to, like, if you're looking to summon a monster such as Yazi, which, can that can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, which is always good. I've spoken about this in such archetype reviews, like the Hazy Flames. That effect is a lot more helpful than people realize. It has like a Scrap Dragon like effect, which will trigger the Yang Zing monster's effects and allow you to special summon another Yang Zing monster from your deck, as well as when Yazi gets destroyed, you can special summon another worm monster in face up defense position, thus putting you in a position to where you can synchro summon again. And with Baxia, this is going to be, like, I wouldn't say like your nuke card, but like it's going to be a card that's pretty much is like your field trampoline. I guess you can put it. I don't know like what other like analogy to use, because it just bounces everything depending on the number of attributes of the Yang Zing monsters that you use to synchro summon it. So you can either go for, as a matter of fact, maybe I should go to Dueling Network real quick. Hold on. Okay, I tried to go to Dueling Network, find out they didn't update their cards, so I had booted up YuGiOh Pro, because I figured they would have more cards than they do, but they don't have Jiao on there yet, and they don't have Tao Tai, so I'm going to be switching back and forth from YuGiOh Pro to the website right here, so you guys can understand where I'm coming at. Okay, so when you look at Yazi and Shining, why are they still calling things? Oh yeah, Baxia. Obviously, the way that you would want to make them, or like the way to make them, is that, okay, with it being a level 8 monster. Let's see, since Chiwin is like the only is like the only tuner that they have on a site, you can either do Chiwin, Susani, or Suwani and Bian right there, or if you're going for Yazi, you can switch Bian out with Bixie, and that'll give you level 7 right there. And of course, if you're using I mean, you could take it into consideration that you're using YuGiOh. You can summon uh, Bixie and Suwani because that's 0 attack, 0 defense for its effect, and you can get uh, Baxia out that way. That's level 8 right there. Or you can switch Bixie with uh, Pulao in order to get out level 7 Yazi. So that's the combination of cards that right there. Oh, and I forgot about Tao Tai. Ain't this a bitch? I forgot about Tao Tai. How can you forget about Tao Tai? Poor little Tao Tai. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so with Tao Tai being a level 5, you will be able to special summon this using the effect of Jiaotu, and with it having 0 attack, 0 defense, that's a target for it. As well as it being level 5, it's going to make it a lot easier to get out those synchro monsters. Now, yeah, the goal is to, or the ideal method to getting out Baxia is that you would want to, you know, have as many different attributes as you possibly can, because you want to bounce as many cards off of the field, or at least off of your opponent's side of the field, as possible, in order for you to get that one shot to the life points, or at least that's what I, or at least that's how I've been playing it, and it works. So yeah, but with Tao Tai, you can get out Yazi easily. With Jiaotou, you can just use its effect. Yaotou is a level 2 tuner, level 5, 5, 6, 7. There you go, Yazi. Yahtzee. And, yeah, so that's going to get you out Yazi. So those are the, different card combinations you can use. Now, when you look at their effects, I mean, with, uh, um, Pulao being able to nullify the effects of spell cards for that synchro monster that gets synchro summoned with it. With Suwani, it increases the attack and defense by 500. With Bixie, it nullifies the effects of trap cards. That synchro monster is unaffected by the effect of trap cards. And with God damn it, and with Bian, it can prevent the monster from being destroyed by battle, which is something I don't really think you're going to have to worry about too much of when it comes to the Yang Zings. Granted, if you use them properly, like this would probably be like the pretty much the only reason why you would want to use Bian is just to activate the effects of activate the effect of Baxia. So yeah, so that right there. And now we can dive into the non-monster cards, and I think I'm gonna just click off of this. There we go, and just stay on the website because you guys can see it a lot clearer. So first thing we're gonna take a look at is Cosmic Dragon Zenith, and again, this is like final attack orders and kind of like Formula Synchron, or like it puts you in a position along with the effects of the Yang Zing monsters. As it is, they already have effects that allow you to be able to special summon during the main phase or the battle phase of either your or your opponent's turn. You're able to use this pretty effectively, or at least you should be able to use this pretty effectively. And of course, this will put you in a position to just benefit from their effects when the synchro monsters get synchro summoned. Yada yada yada. Nothing too special about the card, so we can move on. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And like another thing, your opponents have to attack it if they're in face-up attack position, and that card is actually meant to be used in combination with Cosmic Dragon Leyline, which is this card. And you notice right here when it says when you have 4 more, it has effects that activate depending on the number of Yang Zing monsters that you have in your graveyard. And when you get to 4 right here, your opponent cannot set monsters, and all face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. So that's good for uh, Zenith, because you want that to happen, since the Yang Zing monsters have effects that allow them to be replaced on the field. Not only will this fill up your graveyard with more Yang Zing monsters to add to the effects from Cosmic Dragon Leyline, but also you're able to get other Yang Zing monsters from your deck, and like it's really just keeping that momentum going. And then on top of that, with Yang Zing with Zenith, you can also synchro summon, you know, pretty much instantly. So yeah, pretty good combination of things. Not to mention all the other benefits that you get from Leyline, like you gain 500 attack. Uh, I wouldn't use the second effect, not unless you're in like a dire situation, because this is a card that you want to keep face up on the field. This is a card that you absolutely want to keep face up on the field. If a Yang Zing monster you control would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. Like, I wouldn't activate this unless, one, you're in a dire situation, or two, you have a spare Leyline in your hand already. Like, this isn't a card you want to get rid of intentionally. Now, unless you absolutely have to, or you're in a position where you can just activate another one. And of course, there's like a nuke effect with it. When there's 5 or more, you can destroy all cards on the field, which of course with your monsters mean that you'll just be able to get more monsters on the field to replace them. For your opponent, not so much. So so this is actually a pretty good card when used properly. And moving on, we have Cosmic Dragon Incarnation. Like, once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon one Yang Zing monster from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except synchro monsters. So they're really pushing a synchro line when it comes to this archetype, and this card in particular. And this is good because, let's say for example, if your opponent has like skill drain on the field, you activate this, at least you'll be able to get something on the field, right? So that's good. And not only that, but if say you're trying to get more Yang Zing monsters on the field, this card can help and act as like a catalyst to get more of them on the field, for you to synchro summon into cards like Yazi or even Baxian or any other synchro monster out there that can work with the Yang Zing, which is pretty much all of them. I don't think they have any restrictions amongst the tuner monsters or the non-tuner monsters that will not allow you to do anything other than summon synchro monsters in general. So this should be pretty helpful. And last but not least, we have Comet Trail, which pretty much, again, it speaks for itself. It's their version of Pot of Avarice, so it's pretty much like the closest thing you're going to get to that card these days. And it's good for the archetype, considering that you're probably going to lose a lot of monsters. When you're trying to get as many cards in the graveyard for the effect of Leyline, and you still have this right here so that you can gain some draw power from it. So in the event that you use up all the monsters in the archetype that you wanted to use, at least you'll be able to get them back into your deck, and you'll be able to get some draw power from that. So that's always good. So overall, I think this archetype is very, very unique in its own little way. I mean, yeah, it swarms the field, but it maintains field advantage. It's kind of like a star, because that's what they say that the whole background of the archetype is. It's like they dwell inside of stars, and science, when one star dies, it just reforms and it makes a new star, right? If I'm not mistaken, and that's kind of what is going on with the archetype. It kind of follows that motif. When one dies, you can get a new one on the field. So that's crazy. And just to go down, just to add some pizzazz to everything. You can use any. Let me look at these tuners because I gotta make sure I get this right. Let me get this right. I think the only restrictions is that you can only synchro summon. I think I seen that on one of the cards. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to remind me. But yeah, I think the only restrictions with the monsters and the non-monsters in the archetype is that you're pretty much limited to synchro monsters, or at least for the most part, considering that that's how they operate. You know, they have effects that get applied to the synchro monsters when they're used as synchro materials, and you know, they're a pretty fun archetype. Now, of course, the weaknesses, is labeled right here. You guys can take a look at that. And pretty much like their biggest strength is their biggest weakness. That's one thing you have to take note to, because since they're very special summon heavy, it's so many cards in the game that can stop them that you really want to have things in place such like MST, of course, maybe even 7 Tools of the Bandit. Why don't you break that out every once in a while? As well as, even though I wouldn't recommend this card, Dark Bribe, because you're giving your opponent draw power in order to stop a spell or a trap that sometimes isn't even worth stopping. But it's there, it's an option. But overall, yeah, I think the Yang Zing are a pretty cool archetype, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to release any more synchro monsters, which I'm sure that they will. I don't see why not, for the archetype. And they do pretty good. Like, the only thing you really have to watch out for is what monsters get destroyed from what. They have effects, with the exception of Chiwin, that special summons them in either with the exception of Chiwin and YuGiOh. They have effects that activate that special summons them in either face up defense position or face up attack position. And of course, the monsters like uh Bixie and Pulau are the ones that you would want to special summon and face up defense position, considering that they have 0 attack. And then there's Baxian. I mean, not Baxian. God damn it. But Bian, Suwani, and Tao Tai would be your targets to special summon the monsters in face up attack position, considering that they have attack and 0 defense. Now, of course, there's other cards that you can use. Cards such as Zero Clock. I believe that if your monster has 0 attack, then they can't be targeted for battle, or like they can't be destroyed by battle, or something like that. Let me look at that card. Here it is right here. 0-0 rock. Or 0-0 rock. I don't know why they would call a card that anyway. But yeah, as you can see, the card effect is your opponent cannot target face-up attack position monsters with 0 attack for attack. So maybe you can work that in there some way. You can special summon Bixie and or Pulau, or even the tuners in face-up attack position. And I think YuGiOh has 0 defense. I think it has attack. Nope, it has 0 defense as well. So, 0 attack as well. So, Chiwin, Pulau, Bixie, and YuGiOh all have 0 attack and can be used with that card. So maybe you can work like a strategy in there somewhere to where your opponent can't attack you. So that'll be something cool. So closing out of this, that brings us to the end of this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this Archetype review. I haven't done one of these in a while, so forgive me if I'm a bit rusty. So, but yeah, nevertheless, I always try to keep you guys entertained with Yu-Gi-Oh videos, as well as other things on this channel. So, with that being said, peace. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. For another Yu-Gi-Oh 101 video.